I'm glad you say that. So I'm going to make sure I use the right language now. Yeah, so I really appreciate that. There's no delay, right? There's no 5-second delay here. So yeah, but yeah, thank you, thank you. I think Vitendo for Africa, you guys are doing some amazing work. Very super proud of you, Jeff, and your team.
Yeah.
Everything they're doing, and wish you all the best. We continue supporting you in everything that you're doing up there in the St. Louis and the whole of the diaspora area. As you heard, my name is Patrick Nganga. I'm with One Community Financial Group. We're an insurance agency based here in Dallas, Texas. And it's not as warm as you would think it normally is. It's cold. It's super cold. The Dallas folks here will tell you. We have some St. Louis kind of temperature right now. So we're in the 30s, and I think it's going to get even lower in the 20s. So it will be dripping our faucets. But tonight I'm here to talk about, I'm glad your team, Jeff, included this as part of the topic, because obviously the main discussion here is KCB and the products that KCB offers, and how, as a diaspora, we can take advantage of them. I think we have some background noise there, right? Yeah, so what I was saying was, KCB, they have some amazing products, and you'll hear from Annie and her team about them. But what we always say is that, any good financial planner will tell you, before you get to do anything as far as investments are concerned, whether you're doing a mutual fund, whether you're doing a money market, whether you're doing a high level savings, you're doing some real estate, they always recommend that a good financial plan has to have a base, has to have a foundation. And a strong foundation always make sure that your good financial plan lasts for years and years, and that it's a strong financial plan that can be able to serve you not only for the rest of your life, but even for the generations to come after that. In other words, you're able to build a legacy. Now, for that good financial plan to be built, the foundation starts with insurance. And the kind of insurance we're going to be discussing here is life and health. But the foundation includes all kinds of insurance. You have to have insurance on your car. That way, in case you hit someone, you have an accident, it snows, something terrible happens, you run into someone, you ram into their car in the back, at least you have coverage to protect you. That way you don't get sued and they come after your assets. You also have insurance on your home. That way, in case something happens to your house, it burns down, a tornado runs through it, or you get burglarized, there's a fire of some kind, then at least you're going to get your possessions back, and you'll still have a shelter, a place for you to live. You'll have something to help you replace such a big necessity in your life. When it comes to life insurance is big. And unfortunately, life insurance is not one of those products that is forced on us. If you have a car and you're driving in the streets, unless you're in New Hampshire, where it's live or die, all the other states, you have to have some kind of car insurance. In all the other states, the car insurance is forced on you. Your homeowners, most likely you took a mortgage to get it. So your homeowner's insurance is forced on you to make sure that if the house, something happens to the house, then the mortgage company will also get compensated, that you don't end up losing, and they don't end up being that you're in the hole for so much money. So for life insurance, it's not forced on you, but yet it's a very important product. And what we've seen over the past is that the people who get life insurance are people who are, number one, financially savvy, people who have a financial planner who tells them, as part of your planning, make sure you get the right coverage. And when you talk about the right coverage, there are many kinds of life insurance policies. People ask all the time, what kind of policy should I get? We have a term policy, we have a permanent policy. The main difference is that a term policy goes for a period of time. You would look at it as a renter, a place you're renting, maybe a house, an apartment. So you rent it for 6 months. When the 6 months are over, that lease is over, you can either renew it at a higher price, or move to another place, or not have a place to live, because the landlord can decide to kick you out. So a term policy is good for a period of time, and the good thing about that is that it's affordable. That's why I say, there's life insurance for everyone. There's life insurance for all price points. So make sure you get covered. Now, we have many agents within our community. So talk to an agent, make sure you can tell the difference between a term and a permanent. But the bottom line is that everyone needs to get some form of coverage. Now, if your place of work offers insurance, that's great. But we always say that since insurance is not portable, it's always recommended that you get your own private insurance. That way, when you leave your place of work, when you have to start your own business, you get laid off, or you just decide that you're going to take a long vacation and go part-time, go PRN, at least you have some coverage that will move with you. So we always recommend that you get your own private coverage that can last with you throughout the years, no matter how many jobs you have. Now, the permanent policy is a policy that lasts for the rest of your life. Usually permanent policies are put until the age of 121. So how many of you would like to live to be 121? I bet most of you would, right? You'd like to live as long as you can and as in good health as possible. So it's good to know that it's a product that you can get that will give you peace of mind that you have the protection for the rest of your life. Now, both policies, both the term and the permanent, come with what we call living benefits. Very few don't come with them anymore. Most policies nowadays have living benefits. Now, you may ask, what are living benefits? We know that life insurance covers you, protects you in case of death. In other words, when you pass away, a death benefit is paid to your beneficiary. That's the basic definition of a life insurance policy. But most policies nowadays come with living benefits, meaning you can still enjoy your policy when you're still alive in case of chronic, critical, or terminal illness. So if a doctor diagnoses you with a terminal illness, with a critical illness, you're able to claim part of the death benefit. So let's say you had a $500,000 policy coverage, then you can claim part of that and they give it to you as cash for you to spend that money whichever way you want to. So we see situations where in our community where, terrible things happen. Someone has an accident and then they lose a leg. They're not able to work for a long time. Or unfortunately, someone gets diagnosed with a terrible disease like cancer, ALS, or maybe a paralysis. You have an accident, you get paralyzed, or you lose a limb, you lose an eye, you lose an arm, a leg. If you have a life insurance policy with living benefits, you can claim part of the death benefit, so you can get cash to help you sustain yourself when you're not able to work. Because a lot of times when these terrible things happen, you're not able to go to work, but yet you still have bills to pay. If you have a family, you have kids to feed, you have a mortgage or rent to pay, you still have utility bills to pay, you have a car payment, you have a phone. So it's good to have something in place to give you that peace of mind that in case something happens to you, you not only have the doctors and the hospitals paid, which is what your health insurance does. Your health insurance will take care of the doctors and the hospitals, the medication, but your life insurance with living benefits is great in that you'll get the cash sent to you to help you sustain yourself, to help you pay your bills. And that again comes with both permanent and term policies. So it's good to compare the two, but make sure the policy that you end up getting has living benefits. Now, a term policy has, as we say, a short period of time. It could be 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, not very short, maybe in some cases, but at least it ends with a period of time. A permanent, like we said, has a longevity. It can go until the age of 121. And within that period, one of the main benefits right now that the wealthy like to acquire life insurance for is that they can use it as their own bank. You can use it as your own personal bank. We'll get to know more about banking here from KCB in a little while, but you can open your own bank. And if you Google, if you YouTube, search for YouTube and search for something called your family bank, or get your own bank, you hear a lot of people presenting it as your family bank, but it's when you start your own policy, you put cash money into it. There's a plenty of cash value, kind of like you would save in your bank, and you can withdraw that money in and out as time goes. And the beauty of it is that as you're playing around with it, as you put money, withdraw it, put money, withdraw it, it's still growing, it's still accelerating, because permanent policies come at an interest rate. They'll give you a lot of times a 4-5% interest on the dollar, which is not bad. But the best part of it is that the money that you put in there is accessible to you, and you don't have to take too long for you to have to access the cash value. So it provides a great avenue in that you have the living benefits, you have the death benefit, you have the cash value accumulating that you can use whichever way you want. Let's say you want to accumulate some good funds to help with your college education for your kids. Boom, that's a good place to put your money in there. Let's say you want to save for a house, you want to buy another house, and you're giving yourself a goal of 5-10 years. That's a good place to put your money in. A lot of people use it for vehicles. You can have it to where you put your money for buying cars in there. As you're using your car, let's say you give yourself, you change your cars every 5, 7, 10 years. You put money in there, your money is growing. And then when it's ready to get rid of that car and get another car, you just access your own money, your own bank, and you can use that on a perpetual basis. And then when your time comes and the good Lord calls you, you can transfer that policy back to your family, your kids, and that can continue. So yes, there are many uses of life insurance. My presentation today was very short. I only had a few minutes, but I think we wanted to hit on those main points that as a community, it's great for us to get covered. And I can also emphasize the fact that before you invest in anything, before you do anything major in your finances, it's always good to make sure you have your bases covered. Make sure you build a strong foundation for your financial house so that it can withstand all kinds of storms. It does not make any sense for you to build a house for an apartment for renting out, for buying broti, maguta, maguta, but then something happens and then you're having to sell your properties at a throwaway price so that you can cover a calamity that has hit your family. So make sure your bases are covered, make sure you get the right protection for all your assets. And the most valuable asset is yourself. So yes, I know you have coverage on your home, your apartment, you have whatever the contents are in your apartment, you have coverage for your car for sure, I know. You have a coverage for your motorbike for those who have a motorcycle. You have coverage for your phone. And by the way, if you have coverage for your phone and you don't have coverage for your life insurance, we need to talk. We really do need to talk because you have to tell me what's most important. But yes, make sure you get your health and your life insurance covered because you are the biggest asset. And if you listen to a good financial plan, and they'll tell you that the biggest asset that you have is your potential and your money-making potential that you have for the rest of your life. So if you make $50,000 a year, give yourself, you have maybe 30 years to work, you're making 50 by 30, that's 1.5 million. So, probably right now, you don't have any other asset worth 1.5 million. And with people earning as much as they're earning now, your potential, your future wealth is way greater and your earnings are going to be much, much higher in the future. So make sure you protect that, protect your biggest money-making asset, get some protection for your health and for your life insurance. So Jeff, if there's a question for me, I can get into it, but maybe you can also give them my phone number. Anyone who has a question and can text me, call me anytime, and we can discuss some of those things.
Perfect. That is awesome. I like the way you summarized it, and you pointed out something very nice, that if you have life insurance, if you have insurance for your phone and the car, and you don't have for life for yourself, I think there is something that needs urgent attention. And I think that's why we're here, to educate each other. Sometimes we overlook some things. If you have a question, I will ask you post it on the chat. We will have a Q&A towards the end of after the second speaker. Then we can be able to clarify some of the questions that you may have. But I think, like Patrick said, life insurance is nothing to, it's nothing to negotiate about. It's very important to have that. And thank you for that information, Patrick. Without wasting more time, I will invite our speaker, Anne, from KCB. And I'm sure, I know she has a bunch of information that she'll be able to share with us. So Anne, I know it's very early in the morning. I promise we will not keep you long so that you don't doze as we speak, but over to you. Edison, Anne, are you there? And Njenga, I think you're on mute.
Oh, sorry, I'm here, sorry.
Yeah, I think you're on mute. Yeah, over to you.
Good morning from Nairobi. If you can see me and you can hear me, please say a quick hello on the chat, just to confirm that I'm clear. My colleague is joining me as well. His name is Edison. Edison, please say hello. Is Edison there, or he fell asleep, maybe?
We might need to check on him.
All right.
Yeah,
my name is Njenga.
I think
he was on mute, sir? Okay. Edison, you can say hello.
Sorry. Hi, everyone. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Edison.
Nice to join.
All right. My name is Njenga. I sit in the Diaspora unit at KCB, and so does Edison. Edison is my colleague as well. He's a relationship manager. Today is one of those days that it feels like I'm home in both ways. I'm home because I'm in Kenya, and St. Louis was also home for me for 10 years. But then again, we decided to pack our bags and come back to Nairobi. It's been an amazing journey. It's been challenging, but we've learned a whole lot. I've learned a whole lot by being in Kenya, and I brought a lot back home from St. Louis. So today's presentation is purely to just do a recap on the things I get asked by most of my friends who still live in the diaspora, and also to bring you some that Patrick has already mentioned when he talks about life being our greatest asset. That has really stuck with me because we end up protecting so many things, but we hardly protect the life that we have. We hardly protect the health of our loved ones. We hardly take care of plans when someone passes on. So I would like for us to today, at least for those who are on the chat, be more proactive, and let's try and cut back on the procrastination. Tunasamanga kesho, kesho, kesho. Kesho never comes until something happens, and you urgently need some support. So with that being said, allow me to share my presentation. But if there are any questions, please feel free to share them on the chat as well.
I get one.
Hi, little one. Let's see, share screen. Can you see my screen? No, maybe. Sayantat, can you see my screen?
Not yet. We
Not
haven't.
yet.
Maybe try again.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me try again. Okay, 1 second, please. I
Sure.
think my machine just decided to play a trick on me.
And I want to apologize for the people that I had just sent that. I think I realized I sent the wrong link for the Zoom. So thanks, Ben, for correcting me that. So I know there are some people who may have been confused logging in and maybe they're still lost. So if you have a way to share with them, with your friends, post the last Zoom link I just shared.
I think that's good now. You can see it?
That is perfect.
All right. So for everybody, karibuni to KCB, Diaspora Banking. Again, for those who've joined, Njenga is my name. Today, we want to just go through briefly and in summary who KCB is and where we sit. We have a regional presence in about 6 countries and a few subsidiaries as well. We have the National Bank of Kenya, which we bought up fully. So they are a subsidiary to KCB. We have KCB Insurance Agency. We have our foundation and KCB Capital. We also have presence in Tanzania, South Sudan, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and in Ethiopia, it's a rep office. We currently have about 359 branches, 25 million customers, about 8,000 staff as is, and our total equity has gone up as of last year. So this presentation was dated Q4 last year, so this has definitely changed. Some of our values for this year and the next year is to simplify your world and enable you to progress as well. Our vision is to make sure that we're the preferred solution provider in Africa. We've won a couple of awards as well. Our mission is to make sure we drive efficiency in whatever it is we do for you as our customer. And our values are to inspire you to grow, to move forward, to be simple and very friendly. And our promise to you remains the same. We want you to progress. We want you to go ahead. We want you to make the decisions in your life, and we'll support you. We'll be right at the back of it. A quick question is often asked: why do we send money back home, especially from the diaspora? Oftentimes, it's either to handle an emergency back home. That's why emergency is in red. You pay for hospital bills, you're constantly paying for funerals, you're in a Harambe to get someone to school, or in a Harambe for a medical fund, or in a Harambe for mom is going to a church function and you're the chief guest of honor as far as you are. So oftentimes we have an emergency to send money back home. We also help our relatives pay for your utility bills. You're probably paying school fees for somebody who lives in Kenya, or even your children, or your sister's children, or your brother's children, or a family member who passed on, or a neighbor's child. You're probably doing some family upkeep. You're paying for food, you're paying for rent for mom and dad, or your anybody who you're paying rent for. And other times you want to save. You want to save a little bit to make sure that when you come home, you have some money to spend, or you want to do a construction, you have a particular goal in mind. You saw a property in Githunguri, like Patrick has said, Buroti Maguta Maguta, and you really want to invest in that particular plot. You probably have a chama back home, or even wherever it is you are. So you're constantly sending money back home. And oftentimes, the biggest request we get from diaspora customers is they want to buy property, they want to invest in shares and bonds, more so investments. So here we are today to help you discuss that. So what's in it for you? KCB guarantees you safe and secure investments, that's for sure. We're a stable bank. We've been at it for over 180 years. We're still going. We'll negotiate Forex rates for you as well if you transfer your funds in a foreign currency, which in your case will be USD. So if you transfer funds dollar to a dollar account in KCB, then you're guaranteed a negotiated Forex rate. But like we've already discussed, we have a huge branch network, which then allows you to go to any branch for service. You don't have to go to your mother branch. Assuming you open your account in Moi Avenue and you live in Kisumu, you don't have to come to KCB Moi Avenue to be served. As soon as you get on the flight and you land in Nairobi and you want to go straight to Kisumu, please feel free to do so. You'll be served in any branch in any of our counties. You can also easily remit money to your account. The biggest form of remittance we've seen from you guys is World Remit, Sendwave. Wires definitely count when it comes to sending to your dollar accounts. And there's more coming up, Remitly, Small World. So we've seen you guys get very inventive in how you send your money back home. We have tailored solutions to personal loans and mortgages. Personal loans have been applying to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs staff because their salary is still credited in KCB. So most of you have been taking up mortgages to buy properties, to buy land, to do construction. So it's been definitely awesome to see you guys investing back home. We also have a new iBank app, which I know you've been asking for so long, because our mobile app has not been as convenient, especially once you leave Kenya and you change your phone number. You take off your Kenyan line and you deposit back your US line. So we have a new iBank app. It's purely based, it's on phone, it's on both Android and iOS. So you're welcome to download that. I'll share that with you. You also get our iBank app as well. You can get turn delivery to both your phone and your email address, just in case you're traveling. And then you get myself or Edison as your relationship manager. So what exactly do we have in store for you? You can open absolutely any account, a personal account, a business account, or you can invest. We've already discussed this. So allow me to go straight into the products. They're very, very easy. A foreign currency account is exactly what you would open in the US as a USD account, but this time you're opening it in Kenya. We've already discussed it will help you save on the Forex rates. That means if you send dollar to dollar, your dollars are exactly as is, and then we negotiate a rate for you. We often open this as a savings account to avoid the charges, but you can also open it as a a transactional account, what we call a check-ins account in the US. You can open it as a check-ins account, but there'll be a monthly charge of $7 if the amount goes below $1,000. That's it. You can get a card as well if it's a current account. Sorry. And then for the Kenya shilling account, same thing. The difference is we don't call it a checking account because there's no checkbook. So it's exactly equivalent to the check-ins account you have there, with only one difference, no checkbook. So it's a transactional account. The features are very basic. You can get a dollar account with a minimum $1,000. For the Kenya shillings, 2,000 shillings. You get an ATM card for it, which means you can use the card absolutely anywhere, as it's either a MasterCard or a Visa card. The goal account, Patrick has already mentioned this. So this is mirroring what Patrick has already said. Oftentimes, we want to save for a particular goal. You have a dream to buy a house, you have a dream to buy a plot, you have a dream to get married, you want to go to school, you want to save for your children. This goal account is exactly as what Patrick said. You can lock it for a minimum period of 6 months and a maximum period of 5 years. What does that mean? It's a fixed deposit account, which you can't access. You just keep depositing every month, assuming we put a goal of 10 million in the next 1 year, which means you want to buy a property worth 10 million. You agree with yourself that every month I'll deposit 1 million shillings in that account to ensure that I meet my goal by month 12 of the 10 million. That's exactly what it is. Two things about this account. If you withdraw the funds before maturity, you forfeit the extra interest on top of it. And secondly, you cannot access it on internet banking. When you log into view, you only see a balance of 1,000. Why? Any money you deposit in that account, it's swept and put in a pool fund, which then allows you to gain interest that we've promised you, which is a higher interest. But at maturity, your funds are deposited back to that account and the interest. Two things again, that interest and that amount can only be accessed in a transactional or a regular savings account. So you can't operate this account by itself. You'd have to open this account, the goal account, plus another account to enable you to access those funds. So in essence, it's a fixed deposit account. It matures based on the period you've indicated. It could be 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Upon maturity, you get that interest back and all your funds back. I hope that one is clear. But it's one of the best accounts we currently have in KCB because, again, for those people who are afraid of investing outside the banking industry, this comes as one of the guaranteed and most secure ways. It's very risk averse. So for some of us who are risk averse, it works absolutely well. This is our regular savings account. You get 5% per annum. You can operate it in USD or Kenya shillings. The dollar rate is 0.20 per annum. There are no monthly fees, no ledger fees, once a month withdrawal, and that's it. It's a savings account, so no debit card, internet banking, yes, but again, you have a limitation to do 1 withdrawal a month. Anything extra to that, the account might revert back to a regular check-ins account. KCB mortgage, which is very popular. This is very easy to obtain. Sometimes I know you say the documentation is too much. You have to remember that you're living in a different country and all the documents have to come to us notarized. That's the biggest bit about it. All the other requirements are very easy. 6 months bank statements, 3 months pay slips, your copy of your credit report, an employment letter, and then your personal details, your Kenyan ID, your KRA PIN, a passport size photo, and the application form. Of course, you have to identify a piece of property that you want to buy. It has to have a title deed. Please, no share certificates for all obvious reasons. A share certificate does not necessarily confirm that you own that piece of land. What are the benefits of taking a mortgage with us? You invest back home safely. You grow your asset portfolio. You can also borrow against an existing property, assuming you have rentals in Donholm or Ruaka or Roysambo or Muranga or Thika or Kisumu or Mombasa. You can borrow if you already have an existing property. And like Patrick already mentioned, most of us have a plot. Often, all of us have a plot somewhere. Some of you don't even know where that plot is. You went and bought a plot, mahali kuna mawe, you have to dig a road to get there. Don't buy those plots that you cannot necessarily invest in as soon as possible. Why? Yes, they'll tell you it's for speculation, but for how long do you want to speculate? And do you really want your assets sitting idle? If you're not going to develop it, then you might as well invest that money in the goal account. And then when you're ready, your money has already earned some interest. You can buy a prime property, put up either your retirement home, buy a farm, or build some commercial property, get yourself some rental income. So how is the bank involved? We'll finance you up to 80% for a developed property, which means a house, a flat, an apartment, a condominium, whatever it is. But for land, it's up to 70% for the land. And this depends on where the land is located. It can't be so inside uko mashinani. It has to be at least somewhere easily accessible, and the value is appropriate. We also avail a professional team. We have a huge team in KCB. We have lawyers, we have architects, we have QSs, we have engineers, we have a whole team that will look at all your documentation to confirm that it's actually good to go. And if you're doing a construction, we'll do supervision for a cost. For a reason, oftentimes when we are in the diaspora, we end up trusting our family and friends a little too much. And of course, you've all had a story about, I was conned, I send money home, they send me photos for a different property, they send me photos for somebody else's plot, and you come back home, you've packed your bags and you come back home and you go to the site you've been told they bought and there's absolutely nothing. That's where the bank comes in. We ensure that your asset is secure. We ensure that there's no shortcuts. We ensure that there's no conning, there's no games. So we'll do a search on that property. We'll confirm that everything has gone to the right authorities, which include NCA, which include NEMA. If you're doing a construction for a commercial building, we have approvals. Again, we don't want a situation where you're being put in a corner because you did something in a shortcut and now you're facing an attempted murder situation because the building has collapsed. So I hope I hope that if you're planning to do a project, you will definitely choose KCB to support you and ensure that your project goes as it should. I feel like Patrick had seen my presentation today because I had also talked about insurance. Our life is our greatest asset, and so is the life of our loved ones. We have a medical cover that can cover your parents back home and your loved ones back home. That means we secure their health. You don't have to worry about the midnight calls. Mom is not feeling well. We need to take her to hospital. Please send us money. You take this cover and you can go to bed at night in perfect peace. You know, if anything happens, they have a medical card, they can be rushed to hospital, and all they have to do is notify you that mom is not feeling well and they're being taken care of. So you get the peace of mind, you get to secure your loved one's health, and you can access all major hospitals. We have an inpatient cover up to 10 million. Of course, terms and conditions apply. I've done a small illustration there. In the event that your parents are between the age of 50 to 70, and it's mom and dad, so M plus 1, if you do an inpatient limit of 10 million and an outpatient limit of 150,000 Kenya shillings, so we're talking about 10 million is about $100,000, right, Jeff? And 150, yeah, and 150,000. So you'd be paying 171,000 shillings, which is $1,700 to cover both mom and dad. This cover has to be accepted by the insurance company on two conditions: that they're in good health, fairly good health. When our parents get older, diabetes, hypotension, hypoxia, so they'd have to go through a medical exam. So assuming it's just one parent who's present and they're in the age gap of 50 to 70, just one parent, and you take the same cover of 10 million and 150,000, the premium will be $1,200. So 124,000 shillings. This is cheaper. I can say this for a fact. This is way cheaper than them calling you and telling you, mom is in hospital, we need 200,000 right now to get her checked in to a hospital in Nairobi because they won't accept her if there's no medical cover. How many of you have had that situation where you go to Nairobi, you go to Mombasa, you go to Kisumu, and they call you and say, we need $2,000 right now before mom can be checked into hospital? It's a very sad situation. So for us to prevent those situations from happening, she might not use the policy, 124,000 a year, but what if she does? You don't have to go back to your pocket. That's a guarantee. In the event there's an emergency, you're guaranteed that whatever money you've been saving in the US, that's $100,000, which I can ask, how many of us have $100,000 in their account right now to spare purely for a medical emergency? The 100,000 we have in our accounts is either for our children, it's either for you've borrowed against your mortgage, your equity, but it's not for a medical emergency. True, false. So ideally, I'd love for you guys to think about your parents back home. Secure your savings by avoiding that situation where you have to send 2,000 right now for admission, 2,000 tomorrow because she's in HDU, 2,000 on Friday because she's under oxygen, and especially with the COVID situation. This for me is my plea to you because I've lived in the diaspora and I used to get those calls. This is my plea to you. Please protect your families back home because you're already protected in the US. You already have a medical cover in the US. But if your parents don't have one right now, then everything you've saved for might go into the drain in just one day. My uncle was in hospital a couple of days, an emergency as well. We took a cover for him last year, but one. He went over the cover because we never assumed he would get sick. So we got a cover for 2 million. We had to top up an extra million because he ended up in HDU. Those are the things I'm talking about. Try and secure your own savings by ensuring your mom, your dad, your children who live in Kenya have a medical cover. I hope that one, I'm very passionate about this because I know how many Harambes we go to. One of our colleagues lost the dad. The bill was 10 million shillings. So it's really, it's one of those situations where you sit back and ask, we already have a product, why are we not taking it? But we're very quick to secure and insure our funds, like Patrick said. Let's secure our loved ones as well. This one comes in handy as well. We've paid a lot of claims last year. I made sure Jeff and Mrs. Soyantet took this cover. We discussed it for a while. It's been a very hot product. It's the last expense policy, which we also call the funeral policy. It gives you peace of mind because if something happens and a loved one passes away, you don't have to worry about, I'm in the US right now, I don't have $5,000 in my account to travel home right now. Let me call Jeff. We put up something on the website and we ask people to kuchanga. We are a good nation when it comes to Harambes, but let's leave the Harambes to whatever money you get. It should be to help the family move on, but not for the medical expenses and the funeral expenses. So there's less reliance on Harambes if you have a funeral policy. God forbid, knock on wood, a loved one passes on. You can access up to $500,000 in 72 hours when a loved one passes on. Again, you're protecting your savings. Patrick was very on point in saying that it is very key for us to learn how to protect the assets we've built up over time. So again, I'm echoing the same thing he has said. This policy is very easy. It is, Jeff can tell you, it's very straightforward. You just fill in a form and it's accessible to anybody. You don't have to take the cover that charges you $100 every year. You can take a cover that actually charges you $12 a year. The $12 cover will pay out 50,000 shillings, which is $500. The $100 cover, let's say $110, will give you up to $500,000. So this cover covers 10 persons. I want us to be clear about this. It covers Jeff, Jeff's wife, Jeff's 4 children, Jeff's mother, Jeff's father, Jeff's mother-in-law, and Jeff's father-in-law. Immediate family. So if you want to take the same cover for your siblings, you be the financier to their policy and they mention you as a beneficiary. So that means your siblings and their children cannot come under your cover. You, as Njenga, and your husband, if you're married, if you're not married, it's okay. And your mother, and if you have a child, if you're a single parent, that's okay. And then your father. If you don't have a mother-in-law or a father-in-law, or your parents have passed on, you can still take it for yourself and for your children. Again, nothing changes. It's a one-time fee, $110 per annum, and you get up to $500,000. The rates might change because the cover was so hot last year because of COVID. So those rates might adjust a little bit in the near future, but as is right now, it's $110 per annum for a maximum of 10 people. If you have more than 4 children, there's a small amount you have to top up. So we're including all those people in that one cover, but you can take it. If it's just you and your mother, it's also okay. If it's just you and your dad, it's also okay. If it's just you and your spouse, it's also okay. Again, if you choose to be buried in the States when you pass on, we'll still deposit that money in your account. We don't ask you what you're going to do with the money. We only ask you to confirm that this, if I pass on, then my husband is responsible for claiming that the funds. He'll email or call the insurance company. They'll ask him to fill a claim form and share a death certificate. Or if I'm being buried in Kenya, because sometimes in Kenya, a death certificate might take a little bit longer, they'll ask for a burial permit and confirmation of death from the hospital. Yeah. Then he'll indicate the account number, the KCB account number to be paid to. They'll process it. If it's on a Friday, he might get the money on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday because the weekend doesn't count. So on Wednesday, you'll get the money. If you're being buried in the US, same protocol. Share the claim document. a copy of the ID of the person who has died, confirmation of death, a death certificate or a burial permit. We send the money to you. We put the money in your KCB account and you transfer it. That's the easiest product I've ever had to deal with. So if you don't have a cover right now and you're constantly sending money home for Harambes, I've seen most of my friends take up this policy only because I've told them, it's not fair for us to be changaing for everybody constantly. Yet $100 is very little. When you guys come to Kenya, you spend more than $100. You travel to Mombasa, you take your friends out for nyama choma. You saw the guy who was on Wanderlust Diaries who came to Nairobi and went to Quiver, and they took about 400,000 shillings from his account. So think about all these things that you've spent money on and not things that secure yourself. This product is also available to groups and to individuals. So groups can be 5 people going up. Individual, you can take it for yourself. The requirements are easy: a Kenyan ID for all adults or a Kenyan passport, birth certificate for children. For the principal holder, they'll require to add a KRA PIN. So this have to come along with the application. And of course, you have to have a KCB account. If there are any questions about this product, please note them on the chat and we'll answer. How do you access your accounts? We have the iBank. You can access using iBank and also the new iBank app. That's exactly how the KCB iBank app looks like. So please feel free to download it. You use the same credentials you would use for your online banking. If you have any queries about online banking, shoot me an email. We'll make sure we reactivate your accounts if they're dormant and set you up on online banking. We'll also walk you through on how to access the app. The app is very easy to use. You download it, you set up your user ID, which you already have, the password, you set up a 4-digit code, which is simple to do. Then you activate it, then you log in. That's it. It's very easy. Our mobile app doesn't work for Diaspora because it's affiliated to a Kenyan number. So even if you have a Kenyan number, as long as it's not consistently roaming, it won't work. You'll notice that when you remove your SIM card, when you go back to the US and try to put it back to access mobile banking, it doesn't work. That's usually for security purposes. That's the only reason. For the iBank app, it's purely based on Wi-Fi, so you don't have to access anything. How do you send money back home? This is very easy for you because you use Wave, you use World Remit, you use Small World, Transfast, Remitly, Tunes, Therapy. So I presume that this is very easy for you to do. And this goes directly to account. There's no third party involved in this transaction. So don't be lied to by anybody back home that pesa haiwezi ingia kwa account yako kama hujanitumia, lazima unitumie kwa M-Pesa nikuweke. That's not accurate. We've made sure we have ways for you to send money to your account directly. So for Wave, when you're sending with Wave, how you send with Wave is you make sure that, unlike how you send with to an M-Pesa recipient, right below it, there's a drop down that says bank recipient. All you have to do is choose bank recipient. Drop down menu says a couple of banks, choose KCB, enter your account number, confirm your account number and the amount you want to send. That's it. But remember, SendWave is only good for Kenya shillings. So don't do Wave for shillings for your dollar account. You will lose in Forex. That's how Wave makes their money. So Wave is only good for your Kenya shilling account. World Remit is okay because they send dollar to dollar or a wire. You can do a wire transfer from your bank to your KCB account. And again, remember, you have to keep all your Kenyan documents safe. Don't leave your documents with your families back home, please. Tafadhali. It's very risky. Keep your documents safe, carry them with you. This thing of my ID is in Githongori. Please carry your Kenyan ID for obvious reason. We're trying to avoid identity theft situations, fraud in your accounts. Otherwise, when someone comes and goes to downtown Ngara and they process an ID with your name and then they just change the photo, it's very difficult. So please carry your documents and then contact the bank when your personal details change, when your home address changes, your phone number changes. That is your responsibility to ensure your account is safe. And use your Diaspora documents to open an account, even when you're opening the account in Kenya, for 2 reasons. You will get less frustrated because you try and open with a Kenyan document, you go back to the States, and now you can't access your account, and now I have to send you 17 documents requesting for an update. It's not fair to you at all. Make it very easy for you to operate your account. Open your account with your US driver's license. Make sure your phone number is the US number. Make sure that your email address is valid, it's correct, that nobody else accesses it for obvious reasons to protect your account. And finally, hire reputable professionals and organizations that are licensed to work on your projects. Si watu wa mkono unaenda unaita na kufanyia foundation. Of course, the property will crash if it doesn't meet the qualifications. And this year we're running a campaign called KCB, Your Partner Kwa Ground. We are on the ground for you. We are here to make sure that everything you've ever desired to make come true will definitely happen. So rely on us on all matters finances, all matters investments. We're definitely here to support. This is a project that collapsed in Kisumu Mamboleo. When they did an investigation, the authorities said that the building cracked and started crumbling due to foundation subsidence. According to the QS, they had already been told to stop building because they were using unlicensed persons to cut construction costs. So what happens? When you cut construction costs, this is more than likely to happen. I don't know if my friend who was in Nairobi 2 months ago is here. He came to the office and I asked him, why do you look so like you're not yourself? He told me, I'm only in Kenya for one reason. I've been sending money back home and my building has collapsed and I've put in 10 million. And he showed me photos. My God, it is so devastating. It is so devastating. So to you that are listening to me, and advise your friends and your families, please don't cut shortcuts. It's gonna cost you 2 million, 3 million extra, but this will not happen. If you go the shortcut route, I'm guaranteeing you that you'll probably end up in tears. So don't feel the pain. You've already invested so much in the drawings, the designs, the BQs, everything. Don't cut a shortcut. Go all the way. That 2 million will save you. You could be charged for attempted murder in a situation like this. And if something happens, of course, they'll come after you and wipe out all your assets. For the chamas, all the products we've discussed apply to you. Again, if there are any questions, please post them on the chat. My colleague Edison will assist with answering them and we'll answer them on air as well. For chamas, if you have a group and you're more than 3 members, we'll definitely help you invest back home. Ideally, you would want to register the group after a while. You go through the formation stages, make sure you know each other financially, you know their financial discipline, stability, everything you need to know about this partner before you get into a group. Once you are a group and you've been saving, we can help you register. We have a team of lawyers that can help you with registration. You can come back to us now and tell us, we already have 3 million in the account, we want to start a project. How can you help us? We can help you purchase land, we can help you with commercial development, we can help you purchase equipment, purchase vehicles as long as they're organized into a circle. We can help you purchase shares and bills and bonds. It's very, very easy. This for me is very interesting. I was gonna share some photos with Jeff, but clearly I didn't. If you go to Ruaka right now, there's almost at least a third of the buildings that have popped up in Ruaka have been managed and constructed by Diaspora customers. Donholm and Embakasi, the same thing. In Kisumu, around the Mamboleo area, the same thing. If you go to Ruiru, the same thing. Nyeri town, the same thing. Diasporians are you're making waves back home when it comes to chamas, building up as chamas. We have a big group in Oman that has done a school I can't remember the Kamba name, it's past Kitui, but they've done an amazing job. They're all teachers and they thought they would like to do something back in Kenya. So for groups, you can borrow up to 10 times your savings. So if you have 10 million, you can borrow up to 100 million, but you should be able to afford the monthly repayment ability. That's the only clause. You can borrow up to 10 times your savings as long as you can afford the repayment. That's it. Nothing else is hidden. And we love groups. We have a whole department that handles chamas. So please, if you have a group and you have the itch and the urge to invest back home, please talk to us. The accounts are very basic. Again, I don't have to go through this because it's a very easy account. There's no monthly charge. You have unlimited access to your account. The minimum balance to open the account is 1,000 shillings and you can access the loans. You can also open a goal account as a chama and choose the duration of time you want to save. And whatever you've saved up, you can borrow up to 100% of your savings at a discounted rate. And then again, you can open different goal accounts for different purposes. I've been asked a couple of times, I've done a presentation. What are the investment opportunities back home for groups and individuals, mostly for groups because you're able to pull capital quickly. Jeff and I spoke about this. Airbnb is very hot, especially in Kilimani, Kileleshwa, Nyali, anything in Mombasa, anything in uptown Kisumu, anything in uptown Nyeri, anything in uptown, any uptown Westlands, those areas consistently have clientele, not just diasporians coming home, even locals. When us guys want to go somewhere, like when we want to go to Nanyuki, we no longer stay in hotels. We go online on Airbnb, we pick a location. As long as it has good reviews, we're good to go. I've had the story of it takes about $1 million to furnish an Airbnb. You don't have to buy that property. You can actually go ahead and rent it, put a 3-month deposit down, and then you furnish it and you let the landlord know that you run an Airbnb. And they're okay with it. In Mombasa, that's the only thing that's running right now. I'm actually, when guys say they're going to a hotel, I'm like, why do you have to go spend so much money in a hotel? And you can actually get a very good Airbnb that will be better than a hotel. But anyway, that's my opinion. Airbnb has good business, but location is critical. Security is critical. It has to be absolutely meticulously clean. The furniture has to be stable and good looking. Again, location, location, location. You can open a tours and travel. Nowadays, we're traveling everywhere. We're looking for hiking places. We're looking for places to go. So you can actually start something. You can open a beauty line. Salons are making a lot of money, but you have to be very good at it. But salons are raking in. You can try farming. You can be an events planner. As you've probably seen on social media pages. Most people are trying to do things differently now. They want big weddings and lavish weddings. They want big parties for their 40th, 50th birthdays. They want to do small picnics that are very intimate. All this is being done by event planners. You can also do catering. Again, all those functions need food. So if you're a good caterer, then of course, those are just examples of what you can do, but there's way, way much more. Again, real estate never grows old as long as you're very methodical in exactly where it is you choose your location. So again, feel free to ask any questions on the chat and we will answer. The types of loan that we currently have for groups or SACCOs, because we also open SACCO accounts. If you're in a SACCO, we can give you working capital. So for short-term lending to your members, we can give you CapEx. You can buy land with that money, purchase, construction outright. Actually, you can actually build outright. You can also build, so 2 things you can build. You can build houses for your members, or you can build commercial properties, so flats or apartments. Yeah, you can also borrow for assets, property, equipment, and finally you can buy land. So anything property related, you can also invest in that. And that brings us to a summarized conversation. Those are our contacts. If you need to reach out to us, suggestions, complaints, or comments, please feel free to do so. And that is my contact information. My email address is awnjenga@KCB Group. That's my office number, 2032 at the end, and my personal number. If there are any queries that do not pertain to your account specifically, then we have a group email address, which is diasporabanking@kcbgroup.com. I welcome Jeff back to the conversation.
Thank you so much. And that is wonderful. And like I said, this is a loaded presentation. I sat with you for a couple of hours when I was here, but I felt like I missed a lot of things. But I mean, you shared a lot when I was here, but I'm also, when listening here, I'm also learning a lot. I will pass this time to Solomon. If you're there, you can go ahead and ask the questions, and then we can have the speakers respond.
Okay, Jeff, thank you so much. And
I think we can take maybe, and you can stop sharing the screen, and we can post your contacts on the chat. Go ahead, Solo.
Okay, and thank you so much. Your approach is too beautiful, and I loved that. I mean, I love the talk and the tone about money. It makes you rich. So keep up for that. Jeff, we have about 6 questions. And the first question was asked by Penina. Can you hear me, Njenga? Yeah, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Penina, you can see on the platform, she asked, let me see. On the KCB ATM credit card, it seems to have a limit on what merchandise one can transact, in which is different from other credit cards. The explanation from KCB staff is banking security issues. Any information on this? That was the first question by Penina. You may respond.
Hi, Penina. So this one is very easy. If you want to transact over the limit you've been given for 40,000 shillings on the ATM, it's actually usually 50. You can do 40 fast and then 10. You can request for a limit enhancement. It's that easy. Usually we do the $400 just in case someone steals your card and they want to try and swipe on an ATM. It's purely for security purposes. But if you want a higher limit, we can enhance it. We'll just share with you a very brief form. You fill it, sign it, and request for a limit enhancement. That's it.
Sorry, if I would just jump in here. I'm Penina, and I asked the question. So my question specifically talks about the merchandise, not the amount of money that you have to spend. Like, for example, if you want to buy something on Apple, you can't use that credit card. Yeah, so that was my question. Why is it limited when you're outside the country?
We can whitelist your card. Your card is probably not whitelisted. We can whitelist your card.
Okay.
Yeah, just send me an email, please, and we'll have your card whitelisted. That way you can use it outside. But remember also to be very careful with your card when you're outside the country. Just in case you see any transaction that doesn't add up, shoot us an email. Sometimes credit cards are easily targeted. Not sure why, but they're easily targeted.
Okay. Penina, are you okay now?
Yeah, that works. Just to add in something else that I've noticed KCB is doing for any transaction done with the credit card, they always send an instant message before a confirmation of the transaction is done, which I think that's helpful. So
yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Penina.
I will send an email.
Thank you for that. At least you've sent the confirmation bit about the security issue. I appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Mo, can you hear me, Mr. Mo? The second question came from Mo, and he was asking about what is the current interest rate for the gold account. Mo, are you there? And
Mo is here.
Yes. You can go ahead and please ask the question if you won't mind.
You can just read it the way it is.
Okay. I go. What is the current interest rate for the gold account? And if one has another account with you, how does one activate a gold account? Or does one has to open a new account for that?
All right. Hi, Mr. Mwao. I will let my colleague Edison answer this one. Edison, over to you.
Hi, Mwao. Thank you for your question. The interest rate for the gold account is 6%. And gold account is separate from your individual account. So you'll be required to open a gold account. And if you have funds in the individual account, you can be able to transfer it to the gold account. I think that answers you.
Okay, so I have to apply for a Go account. Okay.
Yes. And again, the minimum duration for the gold account is 6 months, and the maximum duration that you can set for the gold is 5 years.
Okay. And another question about that, about the fixed deposit. Is it the same thing that if I have an account, I have to open a fixed deposit account to transfer that money, just in case I want to have a portion of my savings go to a fixed deposit?
For fixed deposit, it's different. What we do, we'll send you a fixed deposit form. We'll utilize the funds that are available in your existing account, and then we'll fix that for the specific duration that you've specified in your application. So that's different. You don't need to open another account for the fixed deposit. It's just to fill up an application form. Yes.
Just application form only. And
yes.
The final question, just not to. And what is your current fixed deposit rate?
The rates will vary with the amount and the duration. And right now it ranges up to around 5% per annum, depending on the duration and the amount that you're fixing.
Okay. And is it
Yes.
somewhere in the website I can find those rates, or?
No, that we can share with you. You can just drop us an email,
Okay.
and then we'll be able to share with you the current rates that we have.
Okay. Thank you.
Because they keep on changing. So yeah, thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Mr. Mao, just to emphasize on what my colleague has said, remember all this, the more money you give us, the higher the interest rate will be. So the 5% is almost like a base. So if you give us 100 million and someone gives us 1 million, you won't get the same rate at all. So it's purely based on amount and the duration as well. And like Edison has said, for a fixed deposit account, you only have to give us instructions on the fixed deposit form, allowing us to fix that money in that existing account. You don't have to open a new account.
Mr. Mo, are you satisfied?
Yeah, so far so good.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The good thing about this course is that Anne has shared her details, email, her number. I have it in my phone already, so someone can always go back to them. The third question was asked by Penina also on the medical insurance. Any option for ages after 70 years? I also thought about that. Could you answer us, Anne?
Yes, we have what we call a senior, we have a Simba seniors. It's for an age group of over 70 years old. Yes, it is available, and we can discuss that in detail as well. If you have any parents who are over 70 years old, please shoot myself an email or Edison, and we'll give you a quotation for that. We'll give you a quotation for that.
Perfect. Thank you. Faiza asked the fourth question, is the 100,000 premium monthly or yearly?
Faiza, it's not 100,000, it's $100.
Oh,
give or take $110 per annum. Yes, it's per annum, not per month, for the 10 people that I mentioned. So in Kenya shillings, it's 11,400 per annum.
No, I'm talking about the Simba senior coverage for.
Oh, okay. Yes, it's per annum as well. They're 124,000, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it's per annum. It's per
And
annum.
what, does it cover only treatment or medication plus?
Everything. Inpatient, 150,000. Outpatient, inpatient, 10 million. Outpatient, 150,000. It covers everything. Optical, dental, medication. If you walk in right now, you have a cold, then you would use your outpatient. If mom walks in and she needs to get some surgery done, she would use inpatient. And then of course, inpatient covers everything. The doctor's fees, the bed she's sleeping on, the nurses who are taking care of her, the gloves they will use. So yes, it covers everything. But of course, if you go over the amount, if you go over 10 million, then you'd have to cough up the difference.
Okay. Thank you.
It seems that's one of the best deals, and I'm about to ask her what's your share in this, but I won't. It's so good.
We don't have a share. We're trying to ensure that we have value addition for you and not just accounts.
Fantastic.
Right now, we're looking at our customers wholesomely.
Okay, thank you. Another question was asked by Miss Waboy, and she asked that does the KCB life insurance have living benefits? If yes, please elaborate.
The life insurance? Did we discuss
Yes.
a life insurance policy? We didn't discuss a life insurance. We discussed a last expense policy. It doesn't, so the last expense policy, someone has to die, unfortunately.
To get the benefits.
Yes, because it's a funeral cover.
Okay.
It's a funeral cover, not a life insurance policy.
Right. Waboy,
so someone, Waboy, my namesake, someone has to die for that money to come to an account, unfortunately. Again, it's a funeral policy, not a life insurance policy.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Karibu.
And she also has a second question, and if you can hear, what is the percentage rate of the discounted rate of loan rendered of 10 times of my money?
Edison, over to you.
Thank you. Our current rates are 13% per annum for that kind of a facility.
You said 13%?
13% per annum.
Okay, I think
Yeah.
Bobby got it.
Okay, so it
13%, yeah.
doesn't matter how much times I take the loan. Let's say if I take 3 times of my money, it's still 13%.
Yeah, it's still 13% per annum.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah, all right.
And the last statement is more about a comment, and back to the question 1 about the security issues. Here, you know, Peter has talked about his experience with you, and it seems that you can read it. I had authorized account access and more than 1 million was withdrawn without my consent. Luckily enough, KCB refunded the money. That seems you can bank our confidence in you guys. There is no question about that.
Edison, over to you.
Yes, thank you for that comment. As KCB, we ensure safety of our customers' funds in the account. So when you bank with us, you can have that peace of mind. So no unauthorized transactions will be able to take place through your account without your authorization.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. The last question is from Diana. For those of us who are new to KCB, do you have a summary of your presentation that you can share so that one can go back and read?
Yes, Diana, we do. You can share your email with us. We'll send you a very brief write-up of everything I've discussed, but in less than 3 paragraphs. It's very easy to read. I'll share that with you if you share with us your email. And to reaffirm Mashuki, Peter, the biggest thing that I have to remind all of us is make sure you're using your account at least once every month, what we call customer initiated deposits or rather transactions. Try and send some money, even if it's $10 to your account, even if it's $5 to your account, at least once every month. For 2 reasons. It will make sure your account doesn't go inactive, which then falls dormant, which then means what Peter is talking about, especially on dormant accounts. It means that you know what your account looks like. You are able to log in. That is why we created the iBank app. That way you have access to your account on your phone. It's very critical for you to log in, even do one transaction, transfer money from your account to your savings account. That way there's a customer initiated transaction, which means at any given point in time, when you log in, you know exactly what your last deposit was and what your current deposit is. One thing we can guarantee you is a safety. We will never try and fault you when someone else gets to your account. And that happens very, very, very rarely. That's the reason why I was very insistent on protect your documentation at all times. Protect your ID, your KRA PIN, protect your email address, protect your passwords for a reason. You don't want anybody who is close to you accessing your account or going to the bank and saying they are you because you left your ID back home. So ideally, for all of us who are in this team and you have a KCB account, if you can't access your account on internet banking, please email us. We'll make sure that you can see your account statements on internet banking or the KCB iBank app. Try and send, even if it's $10 to your account every month to keep your account active. That's the easiest way to keep your account active and safe, because then you log in, you check, you transact a little bit, you send money to your M-Pesa account, you send mom to Mave like at $100. It means you're very active in your account, right? As much as you might not use it every day, like you use your US accounts, but you're very sure that you know how your account statements look like because you access your account on iBank or the iBank app.
Thank you so much. And I think someone is asking also, Rachel Kiona, do you have a branch in Diaspora? I think you can clarify on that. Maybe she wasn't present at that time. Or do you have agents here?
Hi, Rachel. We have agents in the Diaspora. Geoffrey Soyantet is our agent in St. Louis, Missouri. We have agents in different states in the US. Geoffrey is in St. Louis. We have Laban Opande in Texas. We have Kefas Matoke. We have agents all over, but we don't have branches. We are not licensed to operate a branch in the US yet. So our branches are in East Africa and Kenya. If you would like to be an agent, Rachel, would definitely love to bring you on board, and anybody else would like to be an agent in the different states that you cover. What an agent does is they facilitate account opening as easily as I would do if I was on the ground. They also facilitate events when we come on the ground. We haven't traveled in the last 2 years due to COVID, but when we travel, it's the agents who pull you guys together and tell us what your interests are, and we're able to support you on the same. So we do not have branches outside East Africa, but we have agents all over the world, in Australia, in Europe, in the US, in Canada, in Africa. So if you're interested in being an agent, please drop me an email and we'll tell you what the requirements are. As of today, if you're interested in opening an account, Geoffrey Soyantet will witness your documents for you, and then we will collect them. We will collect them from Geoffrey Soyantet. So please feel free to reach out to him or to myself and Edison as well.
All right, thank you.
Karibu, Rachel.
Thank you so much, all presenters, and we really appreciate your bright responses. And definitely we have questions like myself, and because I have your email and your number, I'm courageous enough that to get back to you, and so the other members. Back to you, Geoffrey Soyantet.
Thank you so much. I appreciate Solomon for that part handling. You did it very well. Appreciate so much for your great work. So for now, I think I'm looking at the time here. It looks like we are almost 1 hour, 30 minutes. I know we cannot be able to answer all the questions, but I think like Solomon said, the information has been provided on the chat. I mean, the contacts on the chat, you can always reach out. I've also shared my contacts there. Feel free to reach out to us. If you also want to open accounts, I think we've been opening accounts for people, not just in St. Louis, but also in different, I think I was handling a couple of people from Texas this week. So feel free to reach out to us. And I think Anne has been very, very active and very helpful. I think we were opening account for somebody who was heading to Kenya in 2 days, and before she left, because she wanted to deposit the money, and she made it, and was able to make it possible for her. So I'm so proud of you, Anne. I appreciate your great work that you do with your team.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to send in on my tags or my email. And also Anne has also shared her information there. You can always reach out to her. She's very, very, her customer service is a US standard. So, so you can always, and she has influenced that. So I've seen that with the team also, Edison and the team. They have also been very grateful and responding in a very professional way. With that, I would say thank you so much for your time. I know it's been busy and also very late for you, Anne and Addison, be able to wake up at 5 a.m. and be with us. So it's a great sacrifice. I know that's not going to be paid, but you're doing it for us.
Yes, we are. And we love doing it for you.
And you have to clock in at the office in the morning. So we appreciate you for that. I think for now, I'll say thank you so much. But just to let you know that we will have another conversation. And I think we may focus a little bit more on life insurance. I've heard that if Patrick, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So I don't know. I know Patrick had spoken there. I can give 1 or 2, 3 minutes. If somebody had a question regarding life insurance, and I think somebody had asked about that, and we can take advantage of the presence of Patrick, and he can respond one or question because I think feel it's a very important topic. But we'll definitely have Patrick back on this conversation. If you have a question, you can raise up your hand and. A really burning question so that we don't lock out anybody.
Yeah, and I'll put my phone number here on the chat. Anyone can call or text me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you have any questions, if you want to get some quotes and stuff, let me know.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
but it does come with living benefits. Someone was asking about living benefits. So for sure, the life insurance that we offer has living benefits, which is it comes very handy right now. When people are dealing with all kinds of illnesses. Yeah, fantastic. But that was a great presentation, and Edison, love it. Good stuff with KCB. Good bank, A listed, because I know folks in the diaspora want to make sure that they're dealing with a bank that is strong. Will be there to last for years and years. So KCB is one of those. So it's a great bank to be part of.
Thank you, Patrick. And again, like Patrick's presentation, please take those insurance policies for a reason. And I'm not trying to sell Patrick in any form or shape, but honestly, take those insurances. They've saved a lot of people. I can tell you that for free. They've saved a lot of people. Please take that insurance. As small as it is, then just grow it with time and ensure that you protect your life, the life of your loved ones and your assets, most importantly. So as much as we talk about banking, we also make sure that what you've been saving for so long is not depleted in just one phone call. So Patrick, I really am in support of what you're doing because I believe it's the best way to ensure that we leave our wealth for the generations to come and not taking care of small minor things like a utility bill that has overraked in millions, or somebody has passed on and they've left a huge medical bill and we want to bury them. So please take those insurances.
I agree. I think for now, I can't put any a better words to put in terms of having your insurance, medical insurance and life insurance is very important. And I think for those folks in St. Louis, we've tried the best we can. We were very aggressive doing on Medicaid expansion. We've also connected people with low insurance cover that is offered at Affinia. And also, if you don't have insurance, but you don't have paperwork to allow you apply for your insurance, reach out to us. We have a partnership with Casa de Salud. You can be able to go there and get your treatment and for a reasonable price also with Affinia. We will have a session most likely on the 22nd, but we might be able to get an email tomorrow on diabetic tests. We are doing a research project with Washington University, and we want you to participate, but this will be a free diabetes test that will be on 22nd. Waiting for their confirmation tomorrow. But also we might be able to have a team to do the vaccine for those who have not received the vaccine. I just shared this morning about the statistics about what is happening at BJC Hospital for those people who are not being vaccinated and the cases they have. So I don't know, probably read that and think twice if you have not been vaccinated. Because you don't want to be you don't add your name into those statistics when you have an option to do that. Our job here is to keep you informed and help you make informed decision, and mostly help to address some of those misconceptions or the wrong information that's been going around. Your job is also to take that information and share with others. Like whatever has been shared today, I hope you don't keep it with yourself. I really took that advantage of that insurance, that last expense insurance with KCB. I would recommend if you're able to do that, because with all these cases that we're having right now every day, I don't think people are in a position to contribute enough to afford for you to be able to travel. But if you have that care cover, I think you are assured that you can be able to comfortably travel and pay the last respects to your loved ones. Other than that, I say thank you so much. For those who are waking up to go to work, good luck on those traffic. Those who are going to sleep, I say sweet dreams and see you next time. Adios.
Adios. See ya.
Adios. I'll reach out to you so we can set up a meeting.
Okay, great.
Take care.
Okay.
Have a good one, guys. Sleep well, sleep well.
Thank you.
Good day. Good day in Canada.
Thank you. Good
night,
day.
in the US.
Thank you. We have to go to work now. It's 6:30 in the morning.
All the best.
All
Thank
the
you.
best.
Bye-bye.
Salmi watu Kanairo.
All the best.
Ndawasalimia, kunanyesha leo, kumenyesha sana.
Kazanini na matope.
Na kuna jam, na jam.
Na kuna jam.
Kabisa. All right, guys, have a good one. Thank you so much.
You too, bye-bye.
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 Yeah.